Okay, here we go. Fade to black breaking news for this Monday, May 20th, 2024. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. My family came in from out of town, from Ohio, and doing stuff out here. They have a graduation that they're going to and stuff. But anyway, they came by the house, and that was pretty cool. And it's always great to see family. And so I did that. But also this weekend, I posted this out on social media. I've been binging the X-Files. Man, I went back to season 1 and just pounded through it. I'm now just wrapped season 2. So it's been a fun weekend, and plus working here on the studio. Yes, you can see a few changes. I broke out the Shure SM7, and I did it because the RE20 has a big cage and a shock mount, and with all of the new cameras and lights and stuff in here, I was getting weird shadows, and it was blocking me, and I just didn't. So I broke out the SM7. It's got a smaller footprint. It sounds pretty good. And, it's just another microphone. And my voice is my voice. But anyway, so starting off another big week here on Fade to Black. And I love when I do get to Mondays. And tonight on the show, big show tonight, Thomas Jane is with us. Actor, director, producer, all of that stuff. But he's just written a book about UFOs. I think he's working on a second one. And tonight we've got Thomas on the show. This is going to be a fantastic conversation. And I've called the show the UFO Reality. And we'll be doing that tonight with Thomas Jane. And then tomorrow night, and this is the universe kind of messing with me a little bit. Tomorrow night we have Jim Goodall on the show. We're going to be talking about Lockheed Skunk Works, which is right up the road. And we know about his background with aviation and specifically the SR-71 and Lockheed Skunk Works and all of that. And I was just visiting the SR-71 yesterday with my family and taking pictures out there with the plane. And then, boom, tomorrow night, Jim Goodall is on the show. Very cool. Wednesday night, we got it in. We squeezed it in. An AMA on Wednesday night. I like to do that about once a month. So we will be doing that on Wednesday. And then Thursday night is the return of Brad Olson. And we're going to be talking about the hidden esoteric in plain sight. So we've got a great week coming up here on Fade to Black. And I have a bunch of major events that are coming up. Next week, a week from this Thursday, I will be at Contact in the Desert. I'm going to host their 10th anniversary party. That is going down Thursday night, May 30th, in the Crystal Ballroom. So I'll see everybody there. If you need information about Contact in the Desert, tickets and all that stuff, go to contactinthedesert.com. And then coming up, after that, the weekend of June 21st through the 23rd, DisclosureFest, Stairway to the Stars, right here in Southern California at Castaic Lake. I'll be there all weekend. Tickets and info are in the links below. And then right after that, I'll be out in Miami, Florida for the 2024 Conscious Awards. And you can go to forbiddenknowledge.com for information on that. Of course, I've got the Contact at the Sea Cruise to Alaska, Egypt in October, and then Peru and Bolivia with Brian Forster in November. All right, let's get this party started. On this day in history, 1873, it's a big one too. Huge day. That's because Levi Strauss and Taylor Jacob Davis are given a patent to create work pants reinforced with metal rivets, marking the birth of one of the world's most famous garments, blue jeans. That's right. On this day in 1873. Here's your fader fact, and it's a cringe. Are you ready? This is a fact. Chainsaws were first invented for childbirth in Scotland in the late 18th century. It wasn't until the start of the 20th century that we started using chainsaws for cutting down trees. And that is your fader fact. I'm going to leave that right there. You go look it up and you'll see. It's crazy. All right, let's get to the breaking news. Huge news going down right now. A court in London has ruled that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange can now pursue an appeal against the British government's decision to approve his extradition to the United States. The decision today by two judges on Britain's High Court of Justice clears the way for a full appeal hearing of that extradition, in which Assange's lawyers can argue that his First Amendment rights under the U.S. Constitution may be limited by his nationality. Assange is an Australian citizen and neither a citizen nor national of the United States. The United States wants to charge him with 17 acts of espionage and 1 count of computer misuse for the alleged conspiracy to take possession and then publish national defense information. Wow. The first astronaut mission of Boeing's new Starliner spacecraft has been pushed back by an additional 4 days to May 25th. Today is May 20th. Tomorrow had been the latest target date for the launch of Starliner's crew flight test, which will send NASA astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore to the International Space Station for a roughly 1 week stay. But NASA just announced that it's now targeting May 25th for the liftoff, which will take place atop a United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station on Florida's Space Coast. OpenAI's super alignment team charged with, listen to this, charged with controlling the existential danger of superhuman AI systems has reportedly been disbanded over the weekend. The news comes just days after the team's founders, Ilya Sutskever and Jan Leike, simultaneously quit the company. That's right. The team first launched in 2023 to prevent superhuman AI systems of the future from going rogue. That team is no more. The group's work will be absorbed into OpenAI's other research efforts. Research on the risk associated with more powerful AI models will now be led by OpenAI co-founder John Schulman. Sutskever and Leike, the founders of the team, were some of OpenAI's top scientists focused on AI risks. Wow. Researchers from the University of Pennsylvania have developed a heat-resistant memory device that can withstand temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Their findings pave the way for AI computing in extreme environments. In a paper published in the journal Nature Electronics, Deep Jariwala and Roy Olson of the University of Pennsylvania and their teams at the School of Engineering and Applied Science demonstrated memory technology, that's computer memory, capable of enduring temperatures as high as 600 degrees Celsius, more than twice the tolerance of any commercial drives on the market. And these characteristics were maintained for more than 60 hours, indicating exceptional stability and reliability. AI is the future. Check this out. Ed Dwight, the United States' first Black astronaut candidate, became the oldest person to go into space yesterday as Blue Origin launched its new Shepard NS-25 spacecraft and completed its first human flight since 2022. The 90-year-old Dwight took his first trip to space more than six decades after President John F. Kennedy appointed him in 1961 to the Elite Aerospace Research Pilot School, the Air Force program from which NASA astronauts were chosen. Despite being recommended by the Air Force, Dwight was not chosen for the NASA Astronaut Corps in the aftermath of Kennedy's assassination. He made it, though. Very cool. And finally, I'll leave you with this. Barry Sawchuk. Yeah, Barry Sawchuk doesn't usually concern himself with space or the final frontier. That's because Barry is a 66-year-old Saskatchewan farmer in Canada. Sawchuk, who farms with his 3 sons near Ituna, northeast of Regina, was checking out the moisture in his fields at the end of April when he spotted something out there. That's right. He got closer. I've been watching the X-Files too. And then this story breaks. So he gets closer and he becomes confused. Barry said this object looked like a burned up piece of carbon fiber with aluminum honeycombed in between. There also appeared to be a hydraulic cylinder in the debris. It didn't look like anything his family had ever come across on their property before, and he said one of his sons did some research and thought that it might be space debris. They did an interview with a local newspaper about the find, and the photos of the discovery made their way to Samantha Lawler, an associate professor of astronomy at the University of Regina. Lawler sent the photos and information about where it was found to her colleague, Jonathan McDowell. He's an astrophysicist at Harvard who tracks space launches. So, looking at the data, he determined that the farmer's find was likely linked to a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft that had returned to Earth in February with 4 passengers from the International Space Station. McDowell posted on social media that the re-entry trajectory from the trunk section of the spacecraft passed within a few miles of where the large object was found in the field. The trunk, and that's what they're calling it, by the way, is ejected before the ship enters the atmosphere, where, well, it's expected to burn up. But it doesn't always burn up. And by the way, this isn't a small piece of junk. This isn't, no, it's not that kind of party. This thing is 10 feet long, 4 feet tall, and a couple of feet thick. Lucky for everyone that it landed in an open field. If it had hit a house, right, or if it crashed in the middle of New York City, right, well, you know the answer to that. Now, no one from SpaceX or the Canadian Space Agency has said anything. And as for Barry, well, he says he's going to sell it and use the money to build a hockey rink in his hometown of Ituna, Saskatchewan. Yeah, and that's pretty cool. But I think Elon should cut him a check too. Seriously. There you go. There's all the Fade to Black breaking news that you need for Monday, May 20th, 2024. Fade to Black breaking news is produced by Renee Neumann. I'm Jimmy Church. I want to remind everybody tonight on the show, actor, producer, director, Thomas Jane. He's with us. He's got a book out about UFOs. I think he's writing another one. And tonight, we're going to talk about the UFO reality. I'll see you tonight on Fade to Black. All I've got for now is go Beckley Teppy.